Right, welcome to the virtual classroom. What I'm going to explain here is I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of how the NCFE Music Technology students can work their way through this booklet that you've been provided with. So we're going to identify these three things on page 1. So first things first, I'm going to switch over to Ableton Live and we will take care of what we need to first of all. So Command and comma opens up your preferences. That's Control and comma on a Windows machine. We're going to select the audio tab on the left hand side and the built-in output for our audio output device. Okay, so that will be the Moto 828 Mark III hybrid in the studio. It may be the headphones if you're using one of the workstations in the studio. Once that's done, you're going to jump into the menus on the left hand side by clicking this arrow button. Now I'm aware you don't have this software at the moment, so I'm just going to explain it as best I can. So we're going to go into drums, we're going to go into Kit 808 Classic, we're going to drag and drop that onto the drop files and devices here area. We're going to delete the first one by just clicking the delete tab, and we're going to close that window back down. So what we're left with then is one track with the 808 drum kit applied. Okay, all the clip slots are empty, so we're going to double click in the first one. We're going to create a new clip slot, and we're just going to create a standard house music drum beat, which is a kick on every beat, a hand clap on every other beat, the closed hi-hat goes in between. So it's a 16-step sequence, this, so it goes on 3, 7, 11 and 15. So you'll see that it goes in between these kick drums. So you've got a gap of 3, then a kick drum, then a gap of 3, then a kick drum, then a gap of 3, and the hi-hat always lines up with the middle of the 3. Okay, we'll also put a snare drum down there on the 16th, and we'll reduce the velocity down so it strikes a little softer. Then we'll click play. Okay, so a real simple house music pattern, and you can see when you press play what you get here is a little readout of the signal itself. So you can control the amplitude of that signal using this fader. Okay, so that is what we're pointing to there. Okay, so it's asking you to give examples of what these do. So I'm going to write down here for you. So if you want to pause this video at any stage, then it might be worthwhile doing. So this is the volume fader, and obviously I've just explained what that does. I'm not going to write it in there for you. I would expect you to do that yourself. The next one then is this one here. So a little bit harder to demonstrate this on a laptop as we've got no speakers plugged in. But as I press play, I can move that signal to the left hand side or to the right hand side of the stereo field. Okay, and that's done by the panning knob. Okay, so that's what that does. It sends the signal to the left or to the right, and obviously you're free to choose wherever you want to put that, anywhere in between. So right in the middle, it's 50-50 split between the sides. So that is known as the panning knob. So again, I've explained there in the video. If you want to skip back a bit or pause it or anything, and you're free to do so. Back into Ableton then, and we are going to discuss the send knobs. Now it says up there sends. Now to do this, I'm going to have to briefly dive into audio effects and how they work. So over here we have a return track A and a return track B. On return track A, if you click down here in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that this effect has been added to this track. Okay, in the same way that we added the drums to this track, we've added an audio effect to this track. Okay, so it's Convolution Reverb Pro. If you want to see how that's done, you would go into Max for Live, Max Audio Effect. The Convolution Reverb Pro is there, and again you would just drag it and drop it down there, and you'll now have 2 once it loads up. Okay, we don't need 2. We're going to get rid of it. And on B, we've got 2 delay lines. We only need one, so I'm going to delete the first one. Just clicking the tab at the top where it goes dark and then hitting the delete key gets rid of it. So what I'm going to explain then is how this works. So the way we use this is we turn the send knob up to send this drum kit over here to this track. This track will treat it with whatever audio effect is applied, and then it will send it back. Okay? So you should be able to hear the difference there, and you'll see visually that this signal will start to pick up when you send it across. So there's nothing there at the moment. This is the master fader. That's what everything runs through. As I turn this up, you can hear the difference, and that will take a little bit of time to die off because that's the nature of reverb. We'll look into reverb a little bit later on in another video because that's on another page. So same with send knob B. So that's the ping pong delay line. The reason it's called ping pong delay line is the delay repeats the signal. The ping pong part of it just bounces between the stereo field like a ping pong ball would, bounces between the speakers. And again, you get a visual representation of that as well. And you can see the signal dancing like left and right between the stereo field. You don't get it on this side because this one is pre-effect, this one is post-effect. So a good way to think of the send and return tracks, if somebody was to take a balloon, hand it to you, you draw a picture on the balloon and hand the balloon back. When the person receives that balloon back, it has that drawing applied to it. So it's the same with this. What you're doing is you're sending the signal to the return track. The return track is essentially drawing the picture on it and sending it back. It's just that the picture is an audio effect. Okay, so in this instance it's reverb, in this instance it is delay. Now we can add another one. Alt, Command and T creates a new return track, and you'll see there's actually a new knob there. We've got A, B and C. We've actually got C over there as well. The other way to do it would be to create an insert return track. That way you'll get D now and you'll get 4 send knobs. So you can populate each of these with anything that you want. So if you were to go into audio effects there, you could put an overdrive on C, drag and drop, close that down again. Now when we turn up C, okay, a little bit of manipulation on that distortion unit itself, but you get the gist. That will apply to C. So that is the send knobs. Okay, so a little bit of more information in that one. So when it says give examples of what they do, if you want to, again, if you want to skip back to the start, or sorry, a little bit earlier in this video, then you can listen to how I've described that and put your take on that in there. So basically that answers all of them for the first page. If you have any questions, then obviously this is new, the whole virtual classroom thing is new, but if you have any questions, then I would imagine we may be able to answer them in the comments section. Okay, and this will be monitored on a daily basis. It won't be excuse me, it won't be instant feedback, but we'll get there as soon as we can with that. It will be monitored on a daily basis, I would imagine. Your comments will be moderated, so obviously any language or silliness will be removed by the system itself. Would pick up on language and instantly just not allow it to be posted, but anything else will be moderated by the rest of us. Okay, so thanks for watching. Hope that's helpful on this. And then the next video we'll move on to this, the EQ, where you will identify the parameters of this and how an EQ can be used. Okay, all right, hope you're all staying safe. Cheers for watching.